murdered, or there's not some crazy backstory like Yuriko, that he just watches them like die from old age while he's still like looks like he's in his 30s.
But so here's what I will say: as a
Kind of like the Highlander syndrome.
love Highlander.
Yeah.
So here's what I'll do. As a comparison, I love comparison as a tragic hero to Peter Parker. The reason why he's the face of the franchise and one you could argue is part of the backbone, a part of the spine.
Well, number one, he was there first.
No, I think when you talk about marketability and all those things, you talking to a dude that has scruples, morals, and a moral code that people can relate to based on this direct tragic thing, which is the same thing as Batman. His severe things, watching people be murdered, was the first thing is why I don't kill. Which means it validates and everyone's like, oh my god. It's like, dude.
But does Spider-Man
yes, for the most part. Like, you've had variations. You had variations of Batman holding a gun with purple gloves. But my point is, that's why I can sell and relate to people. Having a dude that justifies killing as a means, as a going around, is being like, no, we kind of understand that, like, because you can be twisted and be done, like, Nick Fury doesn't have mind control powers. Nick Fury didn't have any. He's just like, hey, so I need you to. You know how many times he just talked someone or made the situation look away, and then you just murdered a bunch of people that he just needed you to kill.
You know how many times he's been like, yeah, Wolverine, I need you to go murk all these people. I need you to go murder them all. Otherwise, I'm going to shut down the X-Men and arrest them.
And
so what?
So
my just be like, I'm not going to murder people. All right, I'm
no,
going to.
And it was like those are some like I'm adding those. He's also been just tricked into killing people. So I'm adding all those. My whole point is being like something that dangerous needs to be contained because it's just a wild card on the board that like there's a billion reasons why they're there, and because tactically there's very few things that are really going to stop him. There's too many streams.
But also, ironically, that's the whole message of the mutant race in Marvel Comics, is like, people born with powers that they might not be controlled. We should control those people, but they're human fucking beings.
But here's the thing. I think what you're missing is, I'm giving your favorite character a due, and being like, okay, Cyclops, without the Phoenix Force going crazy, he could be stopped. I can name any number of characters that can stop him. We can.
Stomach while he's doing the eye thing.
My whole point is when you go down the list of those things, then you were like, Logan's on a rampage. That's Avengers level response. That's fantastic. That's my whole point is like there's even canon of like Logan kills everybody.
Yeah.
Like my whole point is. But you're not. I'm not arguing that other people don't have those problems. Like if you're telling me all those would be contained, they would all be in a negative zone somewhere. They would all be shipped off, or like I'd make a pact with a nihilist. Hey, could you imprison all these people in your?
Just put them in the negative zone for a while.
We don't need most of our universe. We can give you some of the universe to expand a little bit.
And then you just take all of those dangerous people.
Yep.
Not even doesn't matter if they're good or bad people.
Yep. Like to be.
But that's
and it would probably be because like.
But that's the whole point of the X-Men and Wolverine is like, yes, they have this dangerous power at their fingertips, and bad things could happen, but like, it's not a bad person. Like he wants.
Civil War did not happen because there were bad people involved. There were good people who tried to save some people, and guess what? An explosion went off like an atomic fucking bomb that killed some babies. Now, and that, I'm not talking about the movie. The movie was cool to watch, the comic, but I'm talking about like, yeah, that needs to be contained. Yeah, you don't just get to go around in capes and do things. And for me, it's like,
yeah, but who blew him up? Nitro, a guy who had the power to like blow himself up and then reform himself, and he's not even a mutant.
Not my point. You just said a guy flies around freely that can blow himself up and reconstitute himself. So here's the thing. Not to get off into other topics. We are in a time, and I'm going to skip over because I don't want this to delay too much on this time. We're in a time where we talk about law enforcement having power and blah, 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 needing to be checked. That's all I'm going to go there. Again, these superheroes get to some space. Dude can blow himself the fuck up and reconstitute himself. That means there was never even a consequence of his own ability to happen there. He killed all those people and he's fine. I do know he becomes penance in this other blah 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 down the road. We can talk about that. But my point is, all that stuff always needed to be checked. You know what my friend Robbie, he gave me on the Civil War story that, damn, dog, I didn't even think about that. When Cloak, let me finish up with this and then go. When Cloak dumped everybody onto New York at the end of Civil War, you could have gone to a desert. You could have gone to Antarctica. You could have gone to the moon, the green part of the moon. You could teleport all these places. My point, you dumped yourself back on a populated city. My problem is, tactically, all those things we think is like, no, you need people. There's a reason why we don't just send soldiers into other countries. There's a general, their leadership. All these people without leadership and controlling is like, I'm sorry, if you right now could blow up a mountain with your hand, I'm sorry, bro. You're my dog. I feel like you need to be in some place where, like, how do we know that you're not gonna sneeze in your sleep or have a nightmare and blow up our thing?
But I mean, like,
those do happen. Some of those.
Yeah, I get you. But like, the whole point of this is why I love the X-Men so much. Is like, their shit wasn't about like how powerful they were. It's just about the fact that, well, you were born different.
I think for me,
different, we're scared of you. So just it doesn't even matter what your power is. Bar none, everyone down the line, you're all dangerous.
Here's where that doesn't tie, because like they usually reference that to how the African American struggle, and as an African American struggle, as the LGBT. Yes, but my whole point is, I can't blow up a classroom with my fucking eyes, bro. Like, when you say that the difference between, like, like, bro, like...
But that's what makes him so good. That's what makes it...
But I'm not saying it's not good, and I'm not saying it's great, and I love it. I would say it's like, oh, dude, I understand why you contain them. I understand. There's certain things that was like, damn, all that murder on Genosha. I mean, the babies. Oh, shit, them babies. But
probably some of them babies could, like, sneeze and blow up
because all the time, like, because you're telling me is like, oh wait, if you said like, if every mutant, right? Wait, let me give you this. And here's how you do it. If every mutant grew up and it was Professor X, it was like, nah, we just want to chill with you. We just want to give you his life. But if we didn't have like ones that are like, because people are just dicks. Like, white people can be dicks. Black people, everyone's a dick. There's a piece of shit in every race. So it's not like they're that. But when that piece of shit cannot, that's the same thing as, okay, and I don't want to do this.
So,
it's the same difference as having a handgun and access to an assault rifle. If you can kill 30 people easily, I don't know about that. You can defend yourself? Yeah.
Okay. So,
but like, do you need
so what I would say would be
a
better metaphor for
Thank you.
mutancy now would be like, not all people with power are going to be dangerous or evil, but some of them that do are going to be horrible. That very much reflects like modern corporate America and how that fits.
Professor X himself, his own son. Oh, you thought I was going to leave that alone? His own son, too powerful. Mr. Legion was too powerful, and he quarantined me. He blocked him off away from people because he was fucking afraid. So even him, and no, that's just one part. Let me keep going though.
With modern like corporate America, like how it's, this might be bad for the infrastructure.
How many people do you think Legion could kill if he got on the list? Like,
all of them?
Oh my God! Am I overreacting? Like, did Professor X overreact? So let's not even just take that one part.
How many people
okay.
If he got on the list?
Thank you. Again, are you making my point or?
He's not even.
I'm not even being specific.
How many people could Superman kill if he?
Cool. Thank you. I'm gonna get to that point if I finish the point. But let me go back there. When we talk about those people that have, we do have things where Superman has lost it. We have multiple stories of being like, this dude just doesn't have a strong constitution. We even have like the fact that Martian Manhunter, there are systems there that are in place. They kind of have that wired and controlled and dialed in, and has Batman has checks and balances. We've not seen checks and balances in the X-Men for it. We've not even seen it from the Avengers. We're talking about people that if they're, and the reason why Wolverine is okay for me is like if he's on that Avengers team, there's people watching him. If he's on these other teams, so when there is, and then the whole point is Professor X didn't just go to mutants and be like, "You're a mutant, be free." No, come here, let me show you how to be careful. Let me train you. Same thing with the whole initiative after Civil War. We're gonna come and train you how to use this stuff. We're gonna do like for me, it's like even that is a process of being like
his second team, the team that just rescued his original team, that he found his teenagers and trained and like helped them use it. Like as soon as they got grabbed, he like snagged a bunch of like adult mutants who were like, "You guys seem like you can handle your shit."
Yep. And to me, he's like, tell me one of his greatest. What do you think?
One of their former villains.
Cool. What do you think was one of his greatest like guilty like sins that he felt? Like those situations are like that's him learning to not do that. You don't see too many stories of that happening again. And even where he like separates it, like when you talk about the sins of Charles Xavier that came out, you're talking about like, and to me it's like that's
like
so
that secret second team that had like Scott and Alex Summer's brothers.
Right.
He just like most of them died, so the only ones survived.
Corsair,
like, their memories. No, I'm talking about Vulcan.
Vulcan.
That's by the way, that's one of my favorite comic book arcs ever.
Right.
It's the like whole Vulcan arc.
Right. And but my whole point is saying with like, it's the same thing as like, the reason why you can't have a nuke in your house and be like, I'm only going to use it if I really need to. Being a living nuke or being able to like, dude, when I'm sad, store him as a baby. I could literally drop a typhoon on us. Just Magneto. Holy shit! He's in like.
He sent a worldwide EMP one time.
That's my whole point is like those that has to be contained, and to me it's like I'm not.
Sure,
no. Let me finish.
But how do you contain it without giving someone their humanity? You're just gonna lock them in stone and be like, you're not a real human because you're
the X-Men did that on what's that new Krakoa. They're doing that to be some mutants that can't be contained. They're like, we arrest our own, but they have their own new prison for mutants that are too powerful to make towards prison. So why do they get to do it? And because it's all safety and being like, I'm sorry, that person's not the UN. You're not only a danger to yourself. If you were like in the Congo and there was a small country to your left that threatened this other country, I don't really that's a threat to them. Blah blah. You're like, they have nuclear capability. They're not like you like you're like no we don't have it. No dude, they're threat to us. We're gonna make sure it's fucking done. You could die. Period. And if it's not contained and you're like, well, let them be themselves. Like if they pass the train.
So it sounds like the only reason that like Batman is your favorite hero is because he couldn't wipe out the world.
No. Accidentally. Nope. He really like if he went over one of those things like one, there's checks and balances for them. There's people that know who he is. You can give him the also limitations, but who he is and a normal thing is like, no, he couldn't, and that's not to me, that's not why he's like, for me, why he's my favorite hero is tactically, if you put his mind on it, give him enough time, he will figure it out. Like, he's a general. So meaning, like, gods and things like Superman will, like, it will come down and be like, what can I do? This dude can push a comet aside. And he's looking at a regular dude and be like, what should I fucking do? What he is to me is peak human condition. If you look at what he can physically...
That must be why Lex Luthor is also your favorite.
No. I said number one. I didn't say favorite. I said he was number one.
That's what I meant.
Not my favorite.
Like, but
Joker's my favorite.
Well, you put him as like over the Joker. He's basically
mine.
Batman.
No, well, just mine. What they've shown me, even no matter what, even psychics can be tricked. Brilliant minds in this world show that they're still that's just the power of being a genius. Tactically, strategically, that you can lift all those things is why Lex Luthor can walk into a room full of people who can de-atomize things, and they see him, he could be bluffing with nothing, and you know what they're gonna do? The Joker can walk in that same room and do that. A bunch of people can walk in a room with Batman, and these people and be like, dude, don't just run up on us, dude, don't be stupid. don't be like, because his mind, what he can do with it, and for me, it's like human excellence.